Yo, welcome to another edition of Meme Knowledge. I am El Amigo de la Gente, the friend of the people, and I'm here with the public offender, Prince Gregory
Yes,
Hayes.
sir.
How
What
are
they
you
do?
doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good, man. Glad we doing the show tonight. Glad to see you. Happy to see you, I should say.
Good. Happy to see you too, man. Good you're alive and well. We're here on YouTube. We on the tube today. We decided to go onto the Soapbox Heroes channel, and we're here. Okay, so if you got a notification, you were expecting to see Tyrone. Tyrone's not here. He might be here in the comments pretty soon, though, right?
He called out.
Hmm? He called
He
out.
called out. Yeah.
I just talked to him. He did a really good job today on talking about the World Health Organization, Donald Trump, and Donald Trump defunding the World Health Organization from a United States standpoint, and some of the rhetoric behind and around that. He made a very good point about Donald Trump that he's cool until he elaborates. Well, what kind of leader are you if you can't explain a goddamn thing? You know what that makes you? You makes you a pimp.
What?
Because pimps that they just tell you what to do. They don't explain nothing, right? Like, okay,
Yep.
we gonna go up. We gonna go up here, over here. Come on, come with me over here. You don't ask
Hmm.
them why. You just gotta follow and do what they tell you to do.
Exactly.
So Donald Trump, big
Exactly.
pimping. Check him out, right? So great show today. We're going to be talking about Rona.
The Ronas.
Yes, and in the context of there have been reports and purports that some of the reports of the deaths, coronavirus deaths, have been embellished, perhaps, maybe misreported, certainly, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So give us what you got, Prince Hayes, on that.
Yeah. This week, or I think it was this week. It might have been last week actually. That there was a press conference with Dr. Fauci and I don't remember the other woman's name, and essentially they said that the way that they're counting COVID deaths. Sorry, the way that they're counting COVID deaths are basically if you uh if you go to the doctor and you're sick, right, and you have underlying heart problems and you end up dying. I mean, you go in, you get tested for COVID, but come to find out you also have underlying heart problems, or whatever the case may be, and you end up passing away. They're attributing that to COVID. They're not
Without an
saying
autopsy, is what you're saying.
it could be without an autopsy, or it could be with an, like, I'm thinking that it's without an autopsy, because if they did an autopsy, then that autopsies usually are like they're trying to get a definitive answer. You know what I'm saying? So if you do an autopsy and they died of a heart attack, but then you still attribute it to COVID, then that's really, really, really suspect. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a lie. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Now,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
if they're
So
not doing an autopsy and they're just saying, "Hey, he had COVID and he died, and he had some of the factors that would contribute to COVID deaths or COVID related deaths. We're just marking him down as COVID and we're moving on without an autopsy." That's different. That's just uh, maybe that's a chance for misclassification. You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
It's different than an out and out lie. He could be a COVID death. He could possibly not. But so it just totally depends. I think that's important if they're doing autopsies, because I could imagine a situation where there's a coroner, right, and they're normally dealing with 3 or 4 bodies that they have to do, autopsies on murder or what have you. Someone requested it or something for insurance purposes, what have you, right?
Yeah.
And then now in your locality you have maybe 10 times as many bodies or maybe 5 times as many bodies, and you just have more to do than you can do, right?
Yeah.
You're underfunded. You're unprepared, as many places are. And then you're saying you're coming up with a policy for your people. You're saying, look, if they have COVID and they had pneumonia, just mark it off as COVID. Don't bother with the autopsy because we don't have time. We need to get on this murder investigation, or we need to get on this. These people need autopsies. This guy, COVID. That guy, COVID. And that does leave an opportunity for misreporting, right?
Yeah. And I think that, well, they don't do that when when we're talking about something like if you have pneumonia, right? If you have pneumonia and you die from I'm sorry, if you have the flu and you end up dying from pneumonia, they don't just say like, oh, well, you died from pneumonia.
Well, how do
You know
you
what I'm
die?
saying? I mean,
How do you die from the flu?
I'm sorry. They'll say you die from pneumonia. They won't say you die from the flu.
Let's say
That's my
pneumonia,
point.
and then cause maybe underlying influenza is one of the underlying factors there, like might have caused the pneumonia.
Yeah, brought on by influenza, or, whatever the case may be. I could see them doing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never heard of them just being like, yeah, we're just going to attribute everybody that comes in the hospital that has the flu, and if they die, we're going to say it's the flu. You know what I'm saying? Like I just imagine that there would be more people dying of the flu then. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying like as far as the numbers go, there'll be way more people dying of the flu. So that is very suspect to me because for me, that is already what I thought was happening. I already thought that they were cooking the books. I already thought that. And I think that them doing this is them giving themselves wiggle room or plausible deniability to some degree. They're saying that like, yeah, like you were saying, like, we're just trying to, we want to just attribute all the ones to COVID. We can go back and change them later or whatever the case may be. But right now it's important that we mark them down as COVID so we could track it. Right. Like, I think that's going to be like their excuse for doing it. But in real time, is
that an excuse for doing it?
No. I'm just saying, like, I'm just thinking, I'm trying to come up with a reason as a reasonable reason to explain why they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that to me, that on the surface sounds reasonable, right? Like to me, like if that's just what you're doing, like, yeah, we just doing that because we're just trying to track it, and it makes it easier to track it. You know what I'm saying? It makes it easier to track the deaths because, like you said, we don't have time to do autopsies and blah, 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 blah. So we're just going to say that everybody that has COVID, if they pass, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just hyperbole,
right.
I'm not, don't.
If it's lung problems, heart problems, those type of problems, fever, seizure, whatever, breathing, stop breathing, asthma attack, we're just going to call it COVID.
We're going to say it's COVID. And that is, to me, that is problematic.
Why?
Because a lot of people's fear, right, concern, whatever you want to call it, mm-hmm. and rightfully so when it comes to the government, any governing body, doesn't have to be the American government, it could be any government, but any government that is in charge of the information. You want the information as a citizen, you want it to be as accurate and as honest and as untainted as possible so that you can make a rational decision, a real life, true decision, right? Mm-hmm. And if they are cooking the books in that way, if they are inflating the numbers in that way, it's hard for citizens to then make rational decisions.
Okay.
Based on, you know what I'm saying? Like their decisions will be affected by the information that they receive. So if the government is telling them these are the numbers and the numbers are really, really, really high, now people are going to be more they're going to be more open to fearfulness. You know what I'm saying? And fear is a powerful aphrodisiac.
Okay. And if now, are you saying that there's enough of these type of misclassifications to skew the numbers in a way that people that would cause the fear in and of itself, and that if the truth was known that it was enough, there would be enough deaths taken off to subside the fear?
Possibly. I mean, I put it like this. I think that the rate of infection for COVID is really high. I think that a lot of people have come in contact with it over the last 4 or 5 or 6 months. I think the vast majority of Americans have, and most of us are asymptomatic to it. The others fully recovered, no major problems. With that being said, I don't know how many, like, I can't even begin to like try to guesstimate. So I don't even, like, what would it be, half as many deaths? Would it be, that's a part of it, right? But okay, so I want to make this clear. It doesn't necessarily, I don't necessarily believe that the rate of death is the only thing that's scaring people, right? I do think how it is being reported is also scaring people, right? And then they justify the fear mongering with the numbers. They say, look, man, it's really scary. Look, 4% of people that get it are dying from it. And people are like, oh man, that's crazy. The numbers are crazy. So that's what I do think that is what's happening to some extent. The media, the left media especially, they are sensationalizing this. So the MSNBCs and the CNNs, they're sensationalizing this. And a lot of people, for money. And I mean, they don't care. CNN doesn't care if they make money. The people who own CNN, they're not trying to get rich off of CNN. They're not trying to get rich off of MSNBC, believe it or not. Those are investments, but not the way you think about it, the way you and I think of investments. These news companies are investments as far as controlling the narrative. It saves them money. Even if they lose money, paying all their people to lie for them and propagate all day long on television. J.D. Rockefeller, you know what I'm saying? When he did it 100 years ago, he saved money by buying 100 newspaper companies across America and painting the working class people as evil and as vindictive. And, and he got his way by doing that. You know what I'm saying? He saved himself money. He probably in the short term, he probably cost himself money, but in the long term, he saved himself money because he got other Americans to turn on, to turn on the working class people. So people don't get it twisted. It's not just sensationalism. It's not just making the money. That's not what it's about. It's about controlling the narrative as well. So if they control the information, the scientific information, right? The access to it, then they control how it is disseminated. At that point, they have total control over the narrative.
Okay.
And that's what I see every single day when I look at these reports and I watch when people are talking about this stuff. I'm like, look, man, this isn't what they're telling us it is. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how bad, like, that's the thing about it. I don't know how truly bad it is. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. But a little birdie in my ear is like telling me it's not as bad as they're saying it is. And then I'm also looking at other countries like Germany, who they've done a pretty extensive report, and their death rate is like 0.02%. And if you look at South Korea, same thing. Their numbers were really, really low, and they tested a bunch. They were testing 90,000 people or some crazy number like that, and their numbers are really low. So the people that actually are testing it and report it accurately, the numbers are really, 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 really low. You know what I'm saying? And in some countries, the numbers are higher than other ones, no doubt, like in Italy and like in China that have been hit the hardest. Yes, definitely, those numbers are I think more accurate than fake.
So
but
you
in
don't think
America,
the United States has been hit as hard as those places?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't believe it at all. And because I see there are hashtags on all the platforms, but namely one on Instagram. It's called Film Your Hospital, and it or Record Your Hospital or something like that. And there are scores of people going out every day, and they're showing clips like back to backs. Like the day before, the news is like, oh man, it's jam packed in here. It's wall to wall dead bodies. We can't stop the blood. It's carnage. And then people go to the hospital 12 hours later, and there's nobody there. There's nobody in ER. There's no police. There's no tents. There's nobody trying to get tested. Like nothing. And it's just like there's like video after video after video after video after video. And at some point that stuff starts to conflict with the media narrative, right? The mainstream media narrative. And it's the same thing that happens in other countries, right? So you can look at a country like Hong Kong. When they suppress, there's a reason they don't like these platforms. They don't like you and I being able to record and just give people like, that's raw data too. Mm-hmm. Just somebody literally. So if the news is saying there are 10,000 people in this hospital, and then you go, damn, there's a lot of people, and then you go to the hospital and there's nobody there. That's real. Like you can try to make, excuse it any way you want to, but that's news. Like that's like, okay, like the person doesn't have to say anything. They don't have to, like, you know what I mean? Like they don't have to do it. All they have to do is record it and put it online. And if I see it, I'm gonna go, okay, there is something not right about this. And there's a lot of just videos of that. Like you don't even need people talking. I don't even care what people are saying. But they're just going there and they're going, look, it's the same place. The day before, the news reports was like talking about there were 10,000 people. There was people in hazmat suits, and there was 150 people waiting to get tested and checked out, and blah 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 blah. And then you go there and there's nobody there. It's the same thing they do when they say it's a hurricane, right? They say it's a hurricane, right? Then we've all witnessed this and we think it's funny and innocent because it's the weather. Mm-hmm. But just think about it like it's the news. So they say it's they say a hurricane's coming. The hurricane's coming, right? And what do you see? You see Chuck out there, and Chuck has on his parka, and he has on his boots, and he's wrapped. And then you're like, you idiot! Why are you out in a hurricane? He's like, oh man, it's really really windy, and oh my god, it's 100. And then you just see like two people like jog by. Like it's a normal day. We've all seen that before because that's what they do on the news, right? Like we know that, like they're trying to create the hype. They're trying to sensationalize things. There's always a reason behind it though, right? In that particular case, it could just be for ratings, because who watches the Weather Channel otherwise, right? Or who watches the news, you know what I mean? Like the news in general, they're just trying to hype some, okay, cool, whatever. I don't think that's like some nefarious, deep rooted, conspiracy. But with this, to me, the most obvious explanation is they are justifying shutting down the government and stealing a bunch of money from the working class people and putting and that is the thing that I see for sure without a doubt. That already has happened. You know what I mean? Moving forward, I don't know what else is going to happen. You want to talk about vaccines, you want to talk about microchips or any other, whatever the heck anybody else theories anybody got, 5G, I don't care. But that I know for sure. The money has already been taken from us. The wealth inequality has grown exponentially in the last month. The gap has gotten wider from that bailout. That is for sure, without a doubt.
Right. So let's go to a expert here from an excerpt from Deborah Birx when she and Anthony Fauci, because Deborah Birx and Anthony Fauci are the president's people, right? And they were asked about misinformation from CNN's from Acosta. Okay, Jim Acosta, CNN reporter. Okay, so he's going to say, I'll read the question and then I will read the answers. Okay.
All right.
Question is from Acosta. It says, as you are both aware, there's a lot of misinformation and conspiracy theories out there about the coronavirus. There are some commentators that are suggesting that the number of dead are being inflated because they are saying that people who are dying with other issues are being listed as COVID-19 deaths. What do you say to those folks who are making the claim without really any evidence that these deaths are being padded, that the number of COVID deaths are being padded? For example, someone might die from a number of factors, but had the coronavirus, are being listed as coronavirus deaths, and because of that, the numbers are being inflated. So that's a good question from Acosta, right? Listen, It's happening. I'm hearing this. What do you have to say about it? Answer to it, right? So Deborah Birx started by saying that they've had Converse, have had the Converse too before explaining. So she said she's actually talked about the same thing, about the reporting and things of that nature as well, in-house. I think every time that I've been up here in about comorbidities, meaning causes of death, most of the people, and we have talked about the Italy data, The majority of the Italians who succumbed to this had 3 or more comorbidities.
Yeah.
So
So they
this
have
is
like they have like underlying heart problems,
right.
diabetes, and something else.
Right.
Okay.
So she's going to explain that. She says, so this has been known from the beginning. So those individuals who will have an underlying condition, but that underlying condition did not cause their acute death when it's related to a COVID infection. In fact, it's the opposite. Having an underlying condition and getting this virus, we know it's particularly damaging to those individuals. She reiterated for emphasis, if you have asthma, if you have renal disease, if you have diabetes, if you have hypertension, these are pre-existing conditions that put you at a greater risk to having a worse outcome.
Okay.
Fauci said after that, right, to the same question, having been through other serious issues, particularly the very painful early years of HIV/AIDS, when people were talking about conspiracy theories, you'll always have conspiracy theories when you have challenging public health crises. They are nothing but distractions. I can assure you that we have so much to do to protect the health and welfare of the American people that I would just hope that we put this conspiracy stuff and let somebody write a book about it later on, but not now. So what do you say? I don't know what Fauci was talking about because, yeah, but Deborah Birx, what she was saying about the comorbidities in terms of the underlying conditions and how those conditions that she's talking about, which are chronic conditions, right?
Yeah.
So people live a long time with asthma, a long time with renal disease. You live a long time with diabetes. You can live a long time with hypertension, right?
Yep.
Is it a coincidence that they died once they got COVID?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that, and that could be and that may very well be the case. The thing that the thing that strikes me as strange though is, like I said, I'm sure that happens with people who die from flu complications. I'm sure of it. Like I'm sure because if you're sickly and you get the flu, like I had the flu, right? I don't know how many people ever had the flu, but I had the flu before in my adult life. Okay. And I'm a fairly healthy person. Like I work out, I get sunlight, you know what I mean? Like I'm relatively young, whatever. I was down for 14 whole days. Literally down for 14 whole days. Like I had a fever for 3 and I recovered for another 11. Like I wasn't right for 14 days. I counted. I remember because I was about to go to the hospital and I looked up flu symptoms and like how recovery, and it was like, yeah, if you don't feel better after like day 11, I was like, damn, and it was like day 9. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm used to just being down for like 3 days and then like, 5 days complete, right? Even with the fever, you got a fever for a day and a half, maybe 2 days. The next day, you kind of out of it. And then day 4, you're like drinking water and eating a little bit. And then day 5, you're like, all right, I'm all right. I got to eat and drink and I'll be all right today. That's pretty much my cycle with most sicknesses. Mm-hmm. But with this, I was down for 14 days.
That would kill someone like a lot less healthy.
That's what I'm saying. Like that would have that could have easily taken out like a 65-year-old with renal failure. You know what I mean? Like no doubt about it. But on their death certificate, they don't put flu. They put renal failure. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like why are you doing it for this particular disease? Is the question. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what I want to know. If they can explain that better, then maybe I'll fall back on my theory that they're doing this that they're cooking the books intentionally to fearmonger. Right. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I haven't heard a reasonable explanation for it.
Yeah, and that makes sense, and that is important, and that's fair. You know what I mean? Because I mean, as far as I'm concerned, whether you say someone's cooking the books or it's misreported or however you want to spin it, because that's all we're basically doing is spinning the fact, right? One way or another, and looking at it from different perspectives. The important underlying thing to remember and to understand is this: we need to demand more of the people that are keeping the statistics, right? We need to do more. We need to do more to support, because all these, trust me, every single thing, whether it's the CDC, whether it's any of those other type of things, right? They have these things called watchdog groups. Every single
Yeah.
government agency has some watchdog group that's on their ass, okay? The thing is that some of these watchdog groups are not as well funded as the government agency, of course, right?
Yeah.
There's people, wherever there's power, there are people willing to try to speak truth to power and hold power accountable, right? That's America. But we have to be, as an electorate, as a group of people, we have to be more engaged and demand more from our people. Like, there needs to be because remember, another fact about COVID that's going on right now is that it's disproportionately killing black people, right? That's a fact. Now,
They're saying what? Say it
it's
one more time.
disproportionately killing black people.
Okay.
And it's no wonder. I mean, we have the underlying conditions she was just talking about. They disproportionately affect black people.
Yeah.
So basically, when they say that it's killing black people at a disproportionate rate, hold on, I got something going on. At a disproportionate rate, that's I get it. You know what I mean? Now, but what I found out when looking into that story and looking into that statistic is that most places in America are not taking racial statistics on COVID, right? Now,
Okay.
I can't jump up and start doing it myself. I don't have the knowledge or the expertise or the ability or the funding to do that, right?
Or the access. Yeah,
Right.
you don't have the access. Yeah.
So now we have to demand that this be a part of tracking the COVID disease. How you're not tracking this on the basis of race is appalling, right?
Yeah.
Or how you're reporting the numbers without giving us a better look into how you're deciding to call something a COVID case instead of kind of blanketing it. That may be a problem with some people. We need more information. We need more access to the statistics, and we have to demand those things. Because think about it like this. Right now, the way that our government is set up, we're moving closer and closer to the authoritarian. Okay?
Yeah.
Donald Trump is certainly an authoritarian figure. Okay? And the enemy of the authoritarian figure is people armed with information. Because when people have real facts and people understand the real things that's going on the ground, he cannot control the narrative.
Yeah.
Okay? So now
Exactly.
the narrative can't be controlled by whoever, not just Donald Trump. I don't want to just say Donald Trump because he's not the only person in on it, of course. Right?
Yeah.
A bunch of people no one can control the narrative when there is an electorate armed with information. You know what I mean? So they feel like, hey, you know what? We either control the information or we stop the information from getting out, or we misreport the information to control the narrative, right? That's kind of what you were that's exactly what you were getting at, right? And in controlling that narrative, you can get a certain reaction out of the people, right?
Yep.
But we have to be able to double and triple check behind these people, and the way that we do that is we don't have time to do that on a daily, right? We have to support the groups and the people that are. We have to make ourselves aware of who actually advocates for us on those types of things. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're not government figures. As a matter of fact, most of them are anti-government figures. You know what I mean? And the government goes through a great deal to keep those people suppressed. Right?
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
ultimately we can say, well, this is the facts, and then this is the information, and the information may be skewed, it may be not, it may be to this degree, it may be to another degree. But ultimately we've got to get down to what can we do to make sure that if it's happening, it doesn't continue. And if it's not happening, that we can say for certainty that we have reliable information available to us. Because that's a good feeling too, right? If we, you know.
I like having the information. You know what I mean? Like I like the citizens having control of the information or having access to like the raw data, so to speak. Yeah, absolutely. Like for sure. I agree. Also, a lot of the watchdog, what are they called? Whatever groups or whatever. They, you think that they're like independent and they're not. A lot, like for an example, like this is just for an example, like the Me Too the thing that happened with Joe Biden and Tara Reid.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those groups to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of those types of groups that's supposed, like checks and balances type shit. They're supposed to go after, the powerful, rich and powerful men, women, whoever that are, committing whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, sexual assault, whatever the case may be, using their power to manipulate people, for sex or whatever. And they turned their back on Tara Reid, and then come to find out is because, one of Biden's top aides is on the staff, whatever, right? So all a lot of the watchdog groups is not just the underfunding, is not, you know what I mean? It also is the fact that they are a part of the system too. Like a charity sometimes. Like you think like, oh yeah, the Goodwill. And you like look up the Goodwill and you see what Goodwill is about. And you're like, Goodwill isn't really like a charity. They're they're just selling. Yeah, they're a store. They made it. they made an image of themselves like they're charitable, but they're not though, right? It's a nonprofit organization. No, all that means is they just make sure that they don't turn a profit at the end of the year. So that means they're just paying their CEOs and all the people that work there a bunch of money. That's all they really have to do. And they donate 10% or whatever to various causes. And then you look at like March of Dimes or something, or you look at the Salvation Army. Salvation Army is 90% of their profits go to go to helping the poor and whatever, or all types of other things. So a lot of this stuff is not what it seems. But you
got to take that on a case by case basis. You can't just.
No, I do. No, I do. I'm not saying that for all.
Watch the Watchdogs for sure.
That's all I was saying.
But I think that's a great place to start, because there are a lot of great special interest groups out there that are legit. Lots. I agree. There are, for sure, without a doubt. Because what else do we have too? You know what I'm saying? Like what else do we have?
Like what else do we have, man? We got to have something. It's like hopefully that's that's like we could depend on them somewhat, and you could and it's easier to hold them accountable because, like you said, they don't have as much money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's easier to light a fire under them than it is to light a fire under the freaking CDC.
A lot of them are just a couple of people that had a problem or saw a problem and decided to do something about it. A lot of special interest groups are just that. You go to their offices, you might see them in Washington, D.C. or somewhere else, and their office is just a little office, maybe a couple of people. You know what I mean? And they advocate, maybe a lawyer and some activists. You know what I mean? Maybe like a team of people, and they just specialize in organizing people around certain groups. Like something happens, like Black Lives Matter. It's not like a bunch of people hanging around in an office, right? But when something pops off, the people that they organize the rest of the people, and then they contribute in that way. And so I try not to be too hard on Black Lives Matter but we got to watch the watch.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not hard on them at all. I like Mel. She's cool. My brother is like been in contact with them and stuff like that. So
I like Dr. Kenyatta Taylor. She is.
Yep.
She's super dope. Super dope. She's one of my favorite black activists in the nation right now. Definitely one of the most prominent, one of the most skilled, and one of the most informed. The Princeton University professor. So.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah. Yep. Man, I just noticed I touched my face like 90 times. You know what's weird? Today I went out to the store and I didn't have on a mask. And it's strange times when people are looking at you for not wearing a mask, like you got a third tit on your forehead. Like it's like weirdest thing, like one of the strangest feelings. Like I already feel like I get stared at because I'm black when I'm in the world, and I'm not, I'm not around like a bunch of black people. Like the only time. Even when I'm around a bunch of black people stare at me, like, but it's not the same feeling. It's not as like, I don't feel like it's like stares of aggression. It's more just like, oh, I like, that's what I get, like a general, like they like me kind of feeling. But when I'm around other groups of people, it's always like they're like, oh, what's this guy up to? You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what I wear, how I dress. Like, I don't dress like I'm not some, I'm very, very clean cut and professional looking most of the time. But they just like, I get weird looks in general. But when I didn't have my mask on, and my son had his mask on, I had my little baby because he likes to wear his mask. So I gave him, I let him wear his mask, and we walked to the store. And yeah, man, I turned a lot of heads. It turned a lot of heads, and that is weird. Like, it's very weird and not something that I want. Like, I'm all for it if it's actually working and this is what we need to do, to save lives and stuff like that. But, I don't actually believe that that's the case.
Right.
I think it's all for show. Like at my job, they put up these like glass, these like plastic, like every one of my desks looks like you trying to get your check cash at a check cashing place. It looks like, you know what I mean? Like that's what it looks like now. There's like a little side thing underneath. There's like a little thing, you know what I mean? Like where you could put your hands underneath, like we were in prison. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. It's like a little hand, like, and then it's like a big old, like a glass thing goes up probably. It sits on top of my desk and it goes up about like, I would say about 4 feet into the up above. It looks really weird, and it's all for show because like it's not like I have that mask the whole time. It's not like I have that guard the whole time while I'm at work when I'm talking to customers, right? Like, so I talk to customers, I'm face to face with them. You know what I mean? A lot of times, a lot of the customers, they don't. A lot of people when they come in, they don't care. They're not trying to be like protected. You know what I'm saying? Like if people are out like buying stuff, they're not afraid. You know what I mean? Like they're not like as concerned as people who are like just stay the hell at home. Like they're not those people, obviously. You know what I mean? So. They're like, I had people, they're like shaking my hand and they're like, oh, I don't know, should we shake hands? And I'm like, I said, hey man, we can shake hands as much as you want to. I was like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like I was like, I'll go inside and wash my hands like I always do, like I've been doing. You know what I mean? Like that's what I've been doing. I'm in the business where I shake a lot of hands, and for 10 years now, I've been in the business of shaking hands, and I've been washing my hands consistently for 10 years. Like I know about this, not that hard to do. After about, it's like I have a clock. Like after about 30 minutes, I just go wash my hands. You know what I'm saying? Like I know it's weird. So, and I'm not OCD at all by any stretch of the imagination, but that's just something that I kind of like mastered. And so people want to shake my hand. I'm like, yeah, shake my hand. Like I don't care. Right. So these people, they're not standing 6 feet. They're not practicing social distancing. We go on test drives. We're in the same car. We're talking. We're laughing. You know what I mean? All that stuff. And then we come inside and there's like this plastic. It's just like it's dumb. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, and this isn't any, I'm not judging my job at all. Like my managers for doing this or anything like that, because they're doing it because they're being mandated to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I know why they're doing it. They don't want to do it. They're doing it because somebody's telling them to do it. I'm just saying a lot of this stuff is for show.
No, it's not for show. It's if you get COVID, you can't blame me. You can't sue me. I've taken
you mean for the businesses, but I'm saying the new mandate, not from our company, it's from California. I'm saying you see what I'm saying? Like the government is saying, oh, everybody is doing this.
If you don't think that there's going to be government COVID lawsuits, then you got another thing coming. It's going to be class action lawsuits behind this.
You think? I don't know. Maybe. I know people sue for everything, so you're right. Yeah,
especially
I wouldn't doubt
California.
it, but yeah.
Remember that now they throw you in jail if you sue for frivolous stuff. Remember about 10 years ago they passed that law about the frivolous lawsuits.
That's cool. I like that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't. I think they're doing it to add to the. It adds to the imagery. Is all of that is psychological, man. It's like seeing people walking around in masks all day and gloves, and you gotta you stay 6 feet apart or else. Bro, when I go to the store, my wife was telling me they're not even supposed to like help me or whatever if I don't have a mask on. Like if I forgot to bring my mask the thing I don't understand is like with vaccines, it's like I don't have on a mask, but you have on a mask. And you have as the clerk, you have a freaking plastic thing in front of you
because the mask itself. From what I understand about the mask is, what I understand about the mask is the mask isn't to keep the in
You
from
from
coming
getting the
in.
virus.
It's
Yeah.
from keeping
Yeah.
if you have it from it getting out
Yeah.
from you. So
No,
I
I
don't
understand.
understand. I don't understand that, but that's what they're saying.
No, it's the same. It's the same as you sneezing into your sleeve. Like I get the idea behind it, right? Like they tell you to sneeze into your sleeve as opposed to sneezing in the air or sneezing in your hands or whatever the case may be, right? It's safer sneezing to your sleeve. So now you have a mask on. It makes sense. Now you're sneezing into the mask or you're coughing into the mask or whatever the case may be, and it's harder for your saliva to get out, right? And that's how the disease is spread through the droplets, the saliva droplet. That's one of the ways it's spread. So yeah, I get it, but I'm just saying like you have that, and then all right, I don't have on my mask, cool. So that went against what I was saying, I guess, because I could sneeze and then it gets out, cool. But then you have a plastic freaking divider between us. So what's that for? You know what I mean? Like it's just like,
I can
dude,
understand
like
that in sales.
what, have the plastic divider?
No, that would be problematic.
Yeah, it's super weird. Like I just don't understand it. I really don't. Now, in the store, I get it more. It feels more natural in the store. It's still kind of weird, but it feels more natural. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm like, I haven't talked. It's not like I've met this person and we were just walking 2 inches away from each other this whole time, and now we get behind this glass when we sit down and talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what's happening. It's like I just got groceries and I'm going to go check out, and there's a glass there, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like I get that. I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, they're trying to protect the workers, and that makes sense. I totally understand that.
Those things are not the temporary. Those are actually permanent reminders. Because those things aren't
like those are gonna be
even
there.
after
They're not
everything
gonna
goes back to normal, they're not taking those things down.
They're not taking those down. They put them up. They cost money. They're not going to take them down. And why not? You know what I'm saying? Or why take them down? You know what I mean? Like I get that. I totally understand. But yeah, we need to take our mask off. Like I'm over that. Like I just don't get it, man. Like, are we going to do this forever?
Wow.
Like
I think we should be prepared to do a lot of minor inconveniences for as long as it takes. They're minor. Like ultimately, that's a minor inconvenience. Ultimately, that's a minor. Like wearing a mask is a minor inconvenience.
I get lightheaded. I don't know about
but it's
y'all.
minor. It's a minor inconvenience.
Feeling like I'm gonna pass out is not minor.
What you need to do, brother, is you need to start a mask business. Black people ought to have their own mask. I need a kente cloth mask.
Jesus Christ. Don't be that guy, dude. Don't be that guy.
Black economics. This is an opportunity.
You take your $1,200 stimulus check and you go.
You pull it together. Everybody pull your $1,200 in, and we start our own mask store.
Hey, I'm with pulling my $1,200 together though, but I'm not with starting no damn mask store. I'm all for putting together about 6 or 7 of these $1,200 checks.
We're gonna sell scrubs and masks. Scrubs and masks.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for the scrubs. The scrubs is long term. Maybe the masks are long term too. I don't know. But scrubs for sure. We can do that.
A little bit of housekeeping. We've got here. We on YouTube, so we got to do a little housekeeping. Prince, we forgot all about it. Hey, hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend. Guess what?
Please.
Soapbox Heroes. Which is a great channel, and it's great for a lot of reasons. Number one, I think the number one reason to watch Soapbox Heroes is your man Tyrone Irvin from KCOH 1230. He is the leader of the channel, and he is the showrunner for the Soapbox Heroes radio show, KCOH Houston 1230. Wake up, you guys. You can also catch us on Facebook. Catch us on YouTube right here on this channel. Hit the like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Guess what? We are closing in on 1,000 subscribers. That's going to give us an opportunity to do a lot more with this channel. There's a lot of things YouTube doesn't let you do till you get to 1,000. So be one of the 1,000. When we get to 1,000, we definitely giving something away. We're definitely giving something away. Okay?
Give it away. I got my Tory Lanez quarantine radio mic popping today. Quarantine. Y'all gotta watch that guy. That shit's hilarious. But if y'all like twerking, Tory Lanez. If you like twerking, and if you like celebrity cameos, just random celebrity cameos, it's the station for you. It's the Instagram live videos for you, man. They be having me cracking up. But
I'll check it
yeah,
out.
let's get on to that next thing, man. Where
Oh
we at?
yeah. Okay, so your boy, when I say your boy, I'm talking about Barack Hussein Obama, as the right wingers. That's his real name, but I get mad when people when the right wingers say Barack Hussein Obama. I get mad because guess what? I might have he's a neoliberal. Politically, we don't match, but guess what? Barack is just he's just a black man.
He a
I'm
black
not
dude
finna let
first, for
y'all. I'm
sure.
not about to let them just talk. Like I don't like that. Is that normal?
That's normal because I feel the same. I feel like this. Like I could talk about my brother, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
like if me and my brother start bagging on each other, and then you like jump in and be like nigga, that's why your face is. I'll be like me. We would both like team up on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you don't talk about my brother, or you ever been like venting to your homie about your girl, and then he be like, yeah, man, and fuck that hoe, and then you be like, wait, I
Dog,
like,
I'm just trying to
hey,
tell you what's going on.
like I could call her, or she my hoe. She ain't, like
Right. You need to
like
like they real feelings come out. You need to leave that trashy ass bitch, man. We like, whoa, you got some
like wait. Like I did not
I
like you
thought
taking
y'all
it
was
far.
cool.
Yeah, you taking it far, brother. That's how I feel about Barack with the right wingers. And also, you know that the reason why they don't like him isn't the reason why you and I don't like him. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like we dislike him for two totally different reasons.
They don't like him because they're racist. I don't like him because he's a neoliberal.
Exactly. I don't like him because of his policies.
Right. Definitely.
Ain't nothing to do with him as a person.
It's political differences. Barack Obama showed to my house. First, I'd be like, why are you showing my house? You know it's COVID time, right? But I would be like, hey, Barack's here. Like, you know what I mean? I'd be excited. Hey, Barack Obama's here. I would take a picture with Barack Obama. Whatever,
Yeah.
right?
I feel indifferent about. I don't know how I would feel about that, to be honest with you, because
I
I
would
thought
want to
about
ask
that.
him. I have a lot of questions I would ask him. That's the thing. I would sit
Yeah.
down, eat dinner with Barack Obama, and ask him a
Oh
ton
yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
questions.
Yeah. I'm not one of the. I'm. The athletes when they like don't go to the White House. No. I'm Craig Hodges. Like I'm going to the White House, but I'm slipping you that letter. Like, hey, this what we really need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. Why not go? Like that's
Why not?
crazy not to go. That's an opportunity. That's the whole point. It's an opportunity. It's how you use it. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You not going means what? Like that's corny.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So Barack Obama, this dude decides he's going to endorse Joe Biden, which is not really inconsistent with his politics. It's not. It's not a big leap for him. But Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders also endorsed Joe Biden,
Joe Biden.
making good on his word that he would support whoever the nominee is. Was that a mistake? Or, maybe should he have changed his mind? Was it a mistake? Or what are your initial thoughts and feelings on the endorsement?
I definitely believe that Bernie gave away a lot of his power early when he said that no matter who gets the nomination, he's gonna endorse them.
Indeed.
So him endorsing Biden now means nothing to me. Like like people, like there are people that are like mad about that. Like, oh, can you believe it? And I'm like, I mean, he said he was gonna. And if Bernie, if Bernie says, yeah, I'm gonna endorse him, like he's gonna do it. He did it with Hillary too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, yeah, I knew he was gonna do that. So I've had the same problem with him as far as this is concerned since he said I will endorse whoever is the nominee. You know what I mean? Like it ain't just now that I have a problem with this. So overall, I have a problem with it. When I heard that he was endorsing him, I was like, okay, like he dropped out. It's time to endorse him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so, there you go.
Right. But in that endorsement, he's actually going against the DSA. Basically said we're not going to endorse Joe Biden. Also, who said he wasn't going to endorse Joe Biden? Countless political student organizations.
Yes.
It was a huge list of them saying we're not going to endorse Joe Biden, and that could spell doom for a campaign that's trying to get the Obama coalition together. The Obama coalition was made up of a lot of young people, a lot of excited voters that didn't normally come out to the ballot to basically come out and beat John McCain and Mitt Romney. Do you think Joe Biden is going to be able to get the Obama coalition fired up and ready to go?
No. No.
Hey.
Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. And the reason why I know it's not going to happen is because he's not going to be able to get you and me. You You know what I mean? Like, so I start with us. Like, I'm like, he ain't getting me. Like, I know I'm not voting for him. I know you ain't voting for him. I could name off the top of my head, I know 20 people that are paying attention to politics that aren't going to vote for Joe Biden. Right. You know what I mean? Like in my small, out of 60 people that I talk to on the regular about politics, I know for a fact 20 of them ain't voting for Joe Biden.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Some of them are going to vote for Donald Trump. Probably about another 20 of them are going to vote for Donald Trump. But 20 of them ain't voting for Joe Biden. I think the rest of them are probably undecided. They might even end up voting for Trump. Who knows? But a lot of basically anybody under 40, anybody that's under 40 that is paying attention to politics and that's black, especially black, they're not voting for Joe Biden in California.
Right.
Not in my circles. Maybe in the South, maybe in another state, not in California. Like
the Green
that's
Party
just
candidate Howie Hawkins. He is running on Medicare for all. He's basically running for, as a socialist. The Green Party is a socialist party. He's running, Medicare for all. He's running on student loan debt forgiveness. He's running on
the progressive platform.
Of the progressive platform. So much so that they did offer Bernie the nomination because their platforms are basically the same. But Bernie carries the mantle of that platform. And so I think that people that are looking for an alternative, that's who. Guess what? That's who's got my vote. Howie Hawkins, absolutely. As of now, if for some reason Bernie Sanders decided, hey, I'll take you up on that offer for the Green Party candidacy, I'll vote for Bernie Sanders. But I'm not voting for Joe Biden. And I did a live a couple of days ago about this. I think that the nomination of Joe Biden and the reason you see such an exodus of people already off top declaring that they're not going to vote for Joe Biden. The reason you're seeing that is because it's more obvious than ever that the Democratic Party is grooming the black vote. They're grooming not because look, let's face it, Joe Biden got a great deal of the black vote that voted. You know what I mean? He doesn't get the hand up from black people, but he got the hand up from the black people that showed up to vote. And that's the point. The Democratic Party only gets a certain type of black people to get out and actually vote for them. And they appreciate that grooming. They want to paint the black community as some kind of monolith, centrist corporate monolith. And that's just not consistent with the door-to-door reality and the neighborhood, Main Street reality of the black community. It's not consistent. So how could blacks overwhelmingly vote for Joe Biden? Well, you get the black voters that you want. Middle class to well-to-do older blacks, period. And you do it and you disenfranchise younger, working class, and poor black people. When you do those things, you make it appear as if the black community has put a stamp of approval on Joe Biden. But I think they will find out in November that the rank and file members of the black community themselves are not going to come out and vote for this guy.
No, they're not. They're not excited to vote for him. So it's not. He has no enthusiasm. He has no groundswell whatsoever. And that spells doom for the Democratic establishment, because if people aren't excited to come out, I mean, and the numbers are low, the turnout is low, then the Republicans win with all their gerrymandering and everything that they do in the general election. It's pretty much going to be over. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be over pretty fairly quickly in the race for Joe Biden. If something doesn't change here. The only thing, I don't know how people are really reacting to this, to the COVID situation. I don't know how that's really going to play out in November. I don't know if the Democratic establishment is going to be able to lay a glove on Trump as far as this is concerned. They've been trying to, but it seems like they haven't really landed like a clear blow on him. And Trump is still doing things that resonate with his base. Right. You know what I'm saying? He's still doing stuff and he's still doing stuff that that makes me like even me, man, like I'm not a, I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Trump supporter at all. But he does things, and I'm like, yeah, man. I'm actually relieved to some extent that he's in office over Joe Biden right now. If Joe Biden was in office right now, the situation would be very similar as far as the response.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, it would be
I don't
very
think.
similar.
I think the main thing that Donald Trump did was along with Bolton, they got rid of the National Security Advisory's pandemic team. I don't think Joe Biden would have did that.
Yeah, I also don't think that those people would have done much to, I don't know. I think it would have went.
Their whole reason for existence is to catch this stuff.
They did.
Why do you think SARS, MERS, N1H1, those type of things weren't nearly as bad?
Because they're not as infectious.
And also because they knew about them. They have people their only thing is to trace and track these things down. Look this way. It's better to have those things and not need them than to need them and not have them.
Absolutely, but they also knew about this though too. So because he was told about it months ago, so he didn't
have the expertise. It's like you could have told me about COVID the day it first started popping up in China. I would have been like, "What the hell do you want me to do?" It's certain people that need to know. It's certain things that need to be in place and need to know. Yeah, he knew, but when he knew, he also knew he had just got rid of the infrastructure that was in place that you use when you know. It's almost like there's crime going on. You're the mayor of You're the mayor of a town. There's a crime going around the corner, but you just fired the police, and so you can't even dial 911. That's what it basically comes down to.
I read a report that said that even that Obama's that those entities, those groups, even if they were here, it wouldn't have been enough to stop it. So I don't. And Biden is competent in general, so I don't know why I would think that he would be doing much better. I just don't believe that. Maybe Obama would have.
I don't know. He would be doing much better. I just think he'd be doing a little better.
That's what I said that initially. You said you don't agree. I was like, I don't think it would be.
I thought you said that he wouldn't be doing.
No. I'm saying, no. I think Trump is actually better than Biden on this. I think he would be better because Joe Biden is completely and utterly incompetent. Just off of that alone, like his brain it doesn't function properly, and I think he just would have A thing that I like about Trump is that he isn't just like, yep, whatever they're telling me, let's just roll with it. I like that. I like that he's in this particular case right now. I don't want people to get confused.
And I get it. You should think for yourself. But some of the stuff he's choosing not to roll with is the dumbest shit ever in life not to roll with. Like he's making a lot of bad leadership decisions, and in spite of the fact he's making a lot of bad leadership decisions, in spite of the fact that he's definitely mismanaged this crisis, in spite of those things, Joe Biden's in a virtual tie with him right now when he should be kicking his ass, right? Anybody should be kicking his ass, but it just lets you know where the Democrats are, and then you've got a guy like Barack Obama that should know better. He endorses Joe Biden, and you got a guy like Bernie Sanders who basically said in the beginning he would endorse whoever the candidate is. I think that he knows that he would just rather have anybody other than Trump.
Yeah, he has Trump. He has Trump derangement,
and I think that Bernie feels like he can influence Biden a lot more than he could ever influence Trump.
Doubt it.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I believe you with that. This is what do I think he thinks, and that's kind of a weird one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that he thinks that, but Bernie is. We know that he doesn't. Bernie ain't. And there are things that I have learned about Bernie Sanders in this last election cycle that, and one of the things I learned is that he's not a good politician. Just generally speaking, he's not a good politician, and B, he really has he's like Marianne Williamson in his outlook on people. You know what I'm saying? He thinks if you're just nice to people and you treat people right, then they'll eventually, man, you could bring him back into the light. You know what I mean? Like that. Like Bernie really believes that type of shit. I feel like,
Absolutely.
and that ain't, I'm all for being optimistic, right? But you got to be reasonable at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Biden would not do. I mean, dude, like he's doing like he even right now, right? So he's lying out here. Biden is lying, saying he's gonna do the means tested version of Medicare for not Medicare for all student loan debt relief, and you know what I mean, like But but we know that if he's already starting at the 50-yard line, right? Like he's already starting at the 50-yard line. He ain't starting on the 1-yard line. Like Bernie's starting on the 1-yard line. Like Bernie's like about to punch it in the end zone when he's talking about Medicare for all, these universal programs. You're starting on the 1 fucking inch line. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like if you get it done, everybody's gonna score, right? And Biden started from like the opposite end of the field, trying to march all the way down the field with like either I'm not doing anything or some half measure. And if you already know if you start at if you start with the watered down version, it's gonna get even more watered down. You know what I mean? Like and he's already starting with the watered down version. Mm-hmm. So I don't think Bernie Sanders would be able to get in there and be like, "Hey Joe, let's do it for all," and then he's gonna be like, "Okay," like that's not gonna happen.
No.
Trump, you could actually get in Trump's ear. Trump is actually more bendable than Joe Biden.
Yeah, but it's about who does Trump allow to bend him, and that is the
people who he likes, people who likes him,
the ass kissers, of the world too.
Yep. That's all you got to do with Trump. It's easy.
Come and kiss the ring.
That's all you got to do. That's all Bernie would have to do. He could change his relationship with Trump tomorrow if Bernie was like, okay, I respect the president, and if he just changed his tone publicly. He could say whatever about Trump behind his back, right? He could be in his room like cursing him to the day he dies, right? But then in public, like, that's our president. He didn't even have to like necessarily, dick ride him per se, but he could just be like, that's our president. I like this, like just compliment him where he can, and then kind of take him to task in certain areas, but just compliment him when he can, and yada yada. I think Bernie Sanders could get more stuff done with Donald Trump in office than with Joe Biden. Neoliberals, man, you can't get an inch with them. That's the thing about them. Like they are so beholden to these corporations. They don't have a populist bone in their body.
Right.
But Donald Trump is somewhat of a populist. Somewhat. And Bernie is for sure a populist. You see what I'm saying? So yes, they already have commonality right there. There's a common denominator there. Joe Biden, there's no common denominator whatsoever. Barack Obama, no common denominator whatsoever. They are not populist at all whatsoever. They don't want to do anything for the working class, for the majority. They don't want to do that. That's just not in the cards for them. They just won't do it no matter what. So I am back to my original point. I'm happy that over Joe Biden, I don't want people to take this as I'm saying I'm happy with Trump at all, because I'm not. Trump is terrible. He's the worst, whatever. I feel the same way you do about Trump, but I stop at not being able to, use my discernment when I need to. In this particular case, I'm using it and I'm saying Trump is terrible, but you can manipulate him. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just don't. You can't manipulate the neoliberals, man. You just can't do it. They're too, and they're smarter than him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I get that. So basically, personally, yeah, I think Joe is 77, and you're not going to get a 77-year-old change his mind on a lot of things. I mean, just from a practical standpoint.
Then why be president then? I mean, that's crazy if that's the case.
The reason he's being president is because somebody they put it in his crawl that he was next up, and they were trying. Yeah. They understood in 2016 when Hillary lost to Donald Trump that they were going to have to contend with Bernie Sanders again. They understood it from that point, and Bernie Sanders, if anything I can learn from Bernie Sanders, I mean, he's endorsing Biden because he said he would, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if anything I could learn from the Bernie Sanders campaign is exactly how powerful the Democratic establishment is in the, how powerful they actually are and what it means. I think a lot of people hear the rhetoric of fighting against them and standing up against the Democratic establishment and inviting their hatred, a la FDR, and you kind of get that, and it's like, yeah, you hear the words, but if you were paying attention, you saw that power in action. It's like somebody, you're a good boxer and you're pretty good and you're a good heavyweight and you're like, yeah, I'm a take on Mike Tyson, and a lot of those cats were like, yeah, we'll fight Mike Tyson. And remember they made up the little slogan with Mike Tyson, everybody has a game plan until they get hit.
Yep.
You think, oh yeah, he does this with the hands, and he's like this.
Yeah.
If I could just wait him out and don't let him box me in, I could do that. Keep moving, control the center of the ring, stick the jab out until you catch one of those left hooks. Boom. Yep. And you're like, oh shit, scramble.
Yeah.
That's
Abort.
You know what I mean. That's what we just saw. We saw a great game plan from Bernie. They ran a great campaign. I'm not gonna, I can't hate on it. They ran a great campaign up until the point that he got hit. Look, there's no perfect campaign, dude. Every campaign, I can go to every single campaign, winner, loser, or draw campaigns, and then somebody did. It was something terrible that went down to every single one of those campaigns. Something they shouldn't have did. Something you would have looked back and said, I would have did this differently. He ran a good campaign in the fact that it was grassroots, and the fact that he was his message was on point. It was something that was articulated, well understood.
His message wasn't on point though. That's what I'm saying. His message wasn't on point. His message was diluted because he would say one thing and do a different thing. So his message was he would say, we have to fight the establishment. You can't get by with just the same old politics. That's not going to beat Donald Trump. And then they would say, so what do you think about Joe Biden? Oh yeah, Joe Biden can beat Donald Trump for sure. What? No, you can't. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Those are mistakes.
You can't do that.
Those are mistakes in a good game plan. I think his game plan was good overall. I think the execution wasn't as good as the game plan, and I think it was because once you get hit, you know what I mean. The execution starts to change. You know what I mean?
He wasn't even hit though. He was doing that.
I don't know.
He was making unforced errors.
Black Monday was a great strategy, I believe, from the establishment.
Yep.
And so that was the hit he never recovered from.
They ran that to perfection, but before that
he was manhandling them.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He could have, regardless of whatever they did on Black Monday, he could have knocked Joe Biden out, but he didn't. He didn't, and his message wasn't strong enough because he was doing stuff like when when Teach Out spoke out about Joe Biden and was saying he was corrupt, and instead of letting her do that and going, yeah, no, I support that. I mean, the facts are the facts are the facts. Mm-hmm. You can call them whatever you want to call them. I'm just saying, look at the facts. That's all I'm saying. That these things have to come into consider. They have to be taken into consideration by the American people. And Zephyr was just putting the facts out there for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like he could have said that. But he didn't. Instead, he took her to task publicly, which was terrible. He made very monumental mistakes. Like, it wasn't like, it ain't perfect. Like, no, I get it. Nobody's perfect. But he made like very, very, very grave mistakes, like really big ones before Black Monday. That's what I'm saying.
I think he actually went trying to go out of his way to make the campaign kind of mirror his own actual personality, and that's where you messed up, because a campaign is not a person. This is a contest. Like, you know who I think? I think Ray Lewis is probably a really cool guy. And I would probably play Madden with him online. You know what I mean? Have some fun, talk to him. He's probably really funny. You know what I mean? Ray Lewis, inspirational leader, right? I don't want to play football against Ray Lewis.
No, I don't want to be in a room with Ray Lewis. He be stabbing niggas.
Oh, quit it. Quit it. I don't want to, but I don't want to step on the football field with Ray Lewis. If I'm on the other side, you think I'm gonna be able to walk up to him after we play Madden and be like, "Hey, remember we played that match?" He gonna be like, "What are you talking about? We on the football?" Like, no, I'm gonna kill you. I'm about to destroy you. You're a good friend, but I'm gonna kill you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you get that ball, I'm gonna hurt you. That's the way it is.
That's how it should be.
And that's what Bernie didn't have. Bernie did not do that. Bernie did not have the game mode. He didn't have game time. Kamala Harris, she had game time. Right?
Yep. And she's trash, but she had game.
She had game time.
Everybody
Elizabeth
had it.
Warren had game time.
Yep. Everybody had it, but Bernie. Klobuchar had it.
Klobuchar had game time.
Weasley, Millie Mouth,
Little Petey had it. They had
Little
game
Pete
time.
had it. All of them. They all had. Honestly, the two people that had it the least were Biden and Bernie.
Yeah.
Like Biden wasn't really like hitting anybody. You know what I mean? Like he didn't
Biden has such an air of expectation. He just like, okay, you guys say what you're gonna say, do what you're gonna do. We already know at the end what's gonna happen. He was like that.
They're gonna prop me up and it's rigged, and so the fix is in.
Oh, you're attacking me? Why are you attacking me? You know that after I win this election, you're gonna have to come and kiss the ring and apologize for everything that you said, because Barack is gonna make sure you do.
Except for him, man. If Joe Biden wins the general election, Barack Obama. I mean, I think Barack Obama actually already is the best politician I've ever seen in my lifetime. But I mean, if that happens, man, he got to be the best politician ever. Like he got to be like better than JFK. Like a TV show. You said what?
It's almost like one of those TV shows where you got the guy and he's a politician or something. It's almost like House of Cards. He plays some House of Cards shit. You know what I mean? Some real life House of Cards shit. Barack Obama.
He's behind the scenes manipulating everything, man. It's like it's crazy. It's really, really weird, man.
Master of puppets. You know what I'm saying?
It's freaky that he had that much. And people were like, yeah, he's gonna just sit out and da-da-da-da-da. And it was like bullshit. Like bullshit. He's about to sit out, man, because he's not coming out and endorsing anybody. And come to find out, sure enough, he wasn't sitting out. He was willing and dealing. He was
subliminals. He was throwing subs at Bernie throughout, when he did talk. Not against Bernie the person, against Bernie the policy.
The policy, yeah. He was Jimmy Johnson in the war room. You know what I'm saying? He was Jimmy Johnson for Dallas Cowboys, drafting Emmitt Smith and, you know what I mean? And everybody they ended up getting for Herschel Walker that year. Like, he was like, it was like, yeah, you think he's like smiling and like, we just got a plan and we're going to do, it didn't seem like he was really about, but when them doors closed, Obama was on the phone. Obama was on he was using two-way pagers. And
he's probably just building relationships with people. Like, hey, how you doing? It's me.
Well, they already he's the king of the establishment. So he have to build relationships. You know what I mean? Like he is.
He was Jerry West trading Powell to the Lakers.
Yeah. he was that dude. Like I said, like you were saying, like you one thing you can't do is underestimate these MFers, and one thing you should never do is you gotta respect what you should and that's what I'm making sure that I do is I not do. They cheated they cheated, but they also had a hell of a game plan. Like how they flipped it the night before, like all of that stuff, man. That was beautiful.
Right.
That was a thing of beauty.
Everybody have a plan. After South Carolina, Bernie, right after South Carolina, was probably like, okay, we expected to lose South Carolina. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? We got 3 states in the pocket. We going on to, Super Tuesday. We're feeling good. The polls got us projected to win 8 states. And then he probably watched the TV, heard something. Like, Pete dropped out. Oh, Pete dropped out. Good for him. No, he's endorsing Biden. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Klobuchar dropped out. And what? He's endorsing. He probably was watching that happen. He's like, here they fucking come.
The thing is also, like, how did he not know that was going to happen?
The people that run his campaign, they're not super. They're young. They're not experienced. They're not experienced winners.
But they were saying that they were going to do that, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like the media was saying that. I heard Joy Reid saying 20 times at least, the establishment should drop out and rally behind Joe Biden. Like they all were saying, so they had to know like that might happen. And I'm just saying,
you're in the
like,
campaign and you're finding out stuff about the campaign, other campaign through the media, you're done. You're out of position. You're toast.
No. I'm just saying that I'm just making the point that if it was being reported on the freaking news, then definitely they should have known about it. They should have been privy to it before that. That's my point. So yeah, I'm not saying like they heard it from Joy Reid. I'm just saying they should have known. Like without Joy Reid saying anything, without even necessarily hearing it in any camps or any, just knowing like, hey, that's a possibility. You know what I mean? Like they might drop out and coalesce behind Joe Biden or whoever they pick. So we got to be ready for that. And if they do, this is what we're going to do. But they'd seen ill prepared for it. He didn't go after Jim Clyburn's thing, or at least try to stop Jim Clyburn from endorsing Joe Biden. Yeah, man.
It's coming out now that he reached out to Andrew Yang, who's a fake populist. He reached out to
Elizabeth
Warren. He reached out to Marianne Williamson, who did endorse him. He reached out to Cory Booker. And so he reached out to some of the guys that were the more progressive.
The people he felt like he could like swing, but that's what I'm saying. He shouldn't have done that. Like you gotta make the call. He should have made the call to everybody. Like if anything, just to stop them from endorsing. You see what I'm saying? Like you didn't necessarily have to get all of them to endorse you or any of them to endorse you. But if you just get in between them,
yeah,
and just be, you know what I'm saying?
Just even if it's just to say like let it play out and let's all get behind the nominee.
Yeah, exactly. Let's let it play out. Yes, that would have been great. And he wouldn't have got all of them. I think he could have stopped Cory Booker. I think he could have stopped 2 or 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nah, man.
It made me feel like they honestly hated Bernie Sanders. The way that everything played out, it made me feel like, I don't know for sure. I don't know the people. It made me feel as if they honestly hated Bernie. Like Elizabeth Warren honestly hated Bernie Sanders. Like, yeah, Super Tuesday, I don't have a chance in hell, but guess what? Fuck him.
Well, you know,
but guess what? Fuck him. Period. And like Elizabeth Warren especially, like, you just really did that? Like it was a literal, like, fuck you, Bernie. A literally, like, I don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning any delegates on Super Tuesday, but fuck you. I can do that.
I looked at that as more, she definitely was doing it. In her mind, she was doing it to Bernie, but also she was doing it to the progressive wing of the party too, because we were shitting on her. You know what I'm saying? The snake emojis.
They tell you about women. Okay, look, the whole knock on women being president. Oh, they're too emotional. You know what I mean? They be on that book. Like, that's what the sexists would say. Oh, they're too emotional to be the president. Bitch, you just did this over some snake emojis? You just basically sabotaged somebody that you're the most closely ideologically aligned with over some goddamn snake emojis? Which you are basically fitting the stereotype of the people that say women shouldn't be president. Because she brought that up. Well, why you're being mean and you're a sexist and you know, in the selfie, you know what I mean, and all this, and your followers, and check your followers and all that, and then Kamala Harris with the we should have Donald Trump banned on Twitter because the mean things he says. All that bullshit, basically, for you two women, supposed to be super strong. I can be the president. I'm with her ass women.
Hillary did the same thing. Hillary did the same thing, by the way.
Y'all are basically filling a stereotype. And that's the thing. That's the ultimate problem with the Democratic Party and why they won't win, is because they always try, if you don't feel the way they feel, they don't change to suit the people. They try to shame whoever into to thinking their way. They try to use shame as a goddamn weapon. And that's what happens when you got too many goddamn Catholics in your party.
Oh, shit. I don't even know who's Catholic in their party, but I'm sure.
Trust me, dog.
I believe it.
They literally tried to shame people. Like, what are they doing now? They're already trying to shame Bernie supporters that don't want to vote for Biden.
Yeah, I mean, that's their game plan. Biden
was supposed to come over to the left a little bit. He said, I want the Medicare age to go from 65 to 60. That is nowhere near what, you know what I mean? What we say Medicare for all.
We want
Dropping the age
Medicare
5 years. That's nothing.
60 to 0. We want it to be for
Student
newborns.
loan debt up to $100,000. What are you talking about? There are people in New York City, people in Los Angeles, people that make $100,000 a year, and they're broke. Damn it.
What about doctors? Doctors wouldn't benefit from that.
Right.
You know what I mean? They have millions of dollars in student loan debt. You know what I mean? Like, so
crippling
that's
student
terrible.
loan debt. Crippling.
Nurses make over $100,000. You don't want nurses to get their debt really. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking? Everybody. If I want everybody to get.
There's teachers that their pay grade will go over $100,000 before they pay off their student loans.
Yeah, and then once that happens, then what happens? Like, well, I guess it would already be forgiven though at that point.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, he's doing the Bernie Light shit to try to get the Bernie people to come over. He's like, okay, you see, because this is the setup. The setup is we're going to blame you motherfuckers when I lose. And you see, I said I would lower the Medicare age from 65 to 60. I made a step compromise your way. I made a compromise on the student loan debt forgiveness. No, those compromises are not compromises, because once we give you our vote in return for those things, that's not a compromise. That's a concession, because it's nowhere near what we wanted. It's not even close to what we wanted. You have to actually sacrifice something to be compromising, right?
Yep.
That's not a sacrifice, dropping the Medicare age 5 years. That's not a compromise. That's what you got together with your Democratic cohorts, and what they deemed acceptable. And not just the Democratic cohorts, with your health insurance lobbyists.
Yeah. And they're probably already planning to, like, all right, yeah, we give it to them, drop it down to 60, but we'll get it bumped up back to, so we get it actually, because we're trying to get it.
We'll drop it down to 60, and then we'll put a means test. We'll put a means test on it.
Man, that's exactly what's happening too, man.
The Biden option.
He's not moving in our direction at all. Good thing about Bernie supporters are, though, that the majority of us are educated,
the smartest,
and we care about
piece of the electorate. The smartest piece of the electorate,
and we're the most passionate.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna fold. And I want them to blame us. I can't wait for the Democratic establishment to lose and they blame the Bernie supporters. I will wear that flag proudly.
I don't know nothing about Howie Hawkins, and I'm excited to vote for him already.
I don't even like his name, I'll be honest with you. He sounds like he's running
President Howie Hawkins
of freaking junior high school president or something like that. But yeah, I definitely would vote for Howie Hawkins. I'm probably going to end up writing in my son, or I might write in Bernie Sanders. I don't know. I don't know. But all in all, right now, I'm over the disappointment and all that stuff. That, or maybe I'm not. I don't know. I've been down about it. I'm more frustrated in people's reactions. I'm more frustrated in people just being like, we got to vote for Biden and that. I'm just like, yeah, man, I don't know what you guys are talking about. There's no way in hell that we need to be voting for Joe Biden.
Only
especially
people I'm getting that from is from older black people that say they're progressives from way back. I've been a progressive. Yeah, black people have always been progressive. That's why, until they got a little bit of money in their pocket, until they got a little bit of, economic relief.
Same with white hippies. Same shit. Same scenario. All the white hippies from San Francisco that was up there smoking, doing freaking LSD on Hayden Ashbury, and then eventually they ended up getting a job in some Fortune 500 company.
Or they out there in Silicon Valley with some shit.
Out there in Silicon Valley now, and they work. You know what I mean? And they, of course not. Yeah, now they're neoliberals. Now they're like, yeah, well, I voted for Obama twice. Now they're those types of people. So,
right.
You got anything?
I wish Jim Jones would have picked your ass up. That's all I gotta say.
So y'all niggas like trying new drugs, nigga. Try that Kool-Aid. But yeah, you got anything you wanna add to the you got something you wanted some parting shots?
Yes. Young, we've got to figure out young people, young black people, working class black people, poor black people, we've got to figure something out because right now we are in limbo. We don't have anybody that's representing us in this presidential race, and it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. You know what I mean? We have to learn the lessons from what's going on right now so that this type of thing does not happen again. Young, and that's yeah. I'm speaking specifically to young black people that are poor working class, but I'm also speaking to young white people because it's the same thing. You know what I mean? They also are disenfranchised from the process at this point now too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
so instead of looking at black people, black voters or white voters or whatever as a monolith, let's create our own monolith. A monolith of people that say, you know what, if you don't handle the healthcare, handle the environment, you don't handle the issues that are important to us, you cannot expect our vote. And let's be monolithic about that.
Yeah, that would be good. That's where we need to be moving to, for sure, without a doubt.
Definitely. What about you? You good?
You know, I'm good. Yeah. I said it. I said all my stuff in the beginning.
Awesome. We got a lot of good stuff. I think, don't forget to click the like.
Click it up.
Click the like, share, subscribe. Look out for snippets of this video on, on a Facebook page or a YouTube page or something near you, because we got some good stuff here and we want to make sure that we spread it to everybody. Anybody that you think would be interested in political analysis with us, go ahead and share the page, Soapbox Heroes. And you guys are probably going to be hearing from Tyrone very, very soon. He does something every day, maybe 3 or 4 times a week at least, right? And so check out Soapbox Heroes, KCOH 1230 AM Houston. That is absolutely a devastatingly good show. I can't say enough about it. So big things coming, big things popping, little things stopping.
Amen.
All right, but we're out. Okay, so like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys next week. We will be getting hopefully a little bit more past the COVID type of deal and more into some more of this
new race. This race is not exciting right now. I'll be honest. That's why I don't really feel compelled. But there's other stuff going on. We need. I really want to.
We'll find.
I really want to start talking about where do progressives go from here, because we are all but abandoned right now. AOC, like none. I don't trust any of them. So we need to get on that. So
right.
All right, y'all.
And on a Friendly Fire, if you guys go over to my page on Facebook, the Friendly Fire page, I'm going to be talking a little bit because I'm still talking about COVID on that page. I'm going to talk about how it's affecting people in cages. So your migrants that are being put in cages by ICE, prisoners, and then now also about homeless people and indigenous people.
We didn't talk about? I almost forgot. So Gavin Newsom put forth the bill to give I think it's like $150 million or $125 million or somewhere along the lines of that to my immigrants. And you already know how that's gonna go, right? Like how people are.
I can see it now.
Upset about that.
California has some of the most xenophobic people I've ever seen in my life.
America does.
Yeah. California is just no different, right?
Yeah, California is just no different. You expect it to be because of all the migrant workers we have here and as close proximity as we are to a lot of our brothers and sisters from south of the border and whatnot. You would think that we would be able to kind of like we'd be comfortable with it, right? Because we see it all the time. They're our neighbors, and but no, we still figure out a way to be assholes and idiots.
They're like, dude, these Mexicans are taking all the good waves. Man, it's crazy. Like, I can't even get a good shrimp taco around here anymore, dude. We shut down the Baja Fresh. Mexicans.
Oh my God. California will pay illegal immigrants not included in coronavirus stimulus. He's gonna give them like $500. Not even that much money, but for them,
they're here. There's 11 million people here that they're gonna be here no matter what, and those people are undocumented workers, And guess what? A lot of them live in California. And guess what? They still need an opportunity. They still need shelter. A lot of them out of work. They still need an opportunity to support themselves outside of this shit right here. And if you think that not just allowing them to starve or allowing them to lose their homes or allowing shit like that to happen is the wave, if you think that's a good idea, then you've got to check yourself. And I'm not talking about from a moral standpoint. I'm talking about from a practical standpoint.
Also, you have to keep in mind that those people they farm your lands. They pick your apples and your oranges and your avocados, and you know what I'm saying.
And they serve your food. They cook your food and serve it.
A lot of them.
A lot of them.
A lot of them do. But I think here's what I'm saying. If those people lost their jobs, Americans would fill those roles, right? Like young American, you know, I think service jobs would be. But farming, nah. Nah, man. 70% of farm workers are illegal immigrants.
When the Republican dude from Congress was talking about getting rid of migrant farmers and told Maxine Waters that black people could fulfill those jobs, Maxine Waters was like, "Hell no, they can't." What are you talking about?
Which is dumb on her behalf because
we were doing it.
And B, you don't speak for all black people. You know what I mean?
Like some black people definitely do it now and would do it, but I'm a city slicker off top.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm not gonna do it. But that would be a dope profession to have, to be a farmer. You know what I mean? A picker or whatever to know the land, and you know, because somebody has to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, but that's a very, very hard job to have. And
there's a bunch of hard jobs out there. So we run away from hard jobs. Just pay us.
But they don't pay those guys right. And we want
we don't pay them right. We
want the jobs that are hard but that get paid right. Like we want those construction jobs and those those
I know,
jobs.
But my point is this though. They don't pay the migrant workers fair wages. Because they're immigrants and they're illegal, quote unquote, right? But if those people weren't doing those jobs and and they would automatically have to pay us $15 an hour. And I'm not saying that's enough, but I'm just saying right off the bat. So you already know, because they're not paying the illegal immigrants. They're not paying them $15 an hour. In California, what is it, $13 an hour or whatever it is?
11.
It's 11 right now. See, I don't.
Yeah.
It's $11 minimum wage.
I'm
just thinking
for $11 an hour.
Yeah, I'm thinking, and so they're not getting paid $11.
You got to deal with a union. You got to deal with a union if it's black folks.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So they would get paid, and that's as long as they're getting paid. Then why not? Why wouldn't we do that? When we used to do it, that was a problem for white people at one point in time when we came during Reconstruction, when black people were the only ones that knew how to farm, and you know what I'm saying? Like that was an issue. That was a good thing. That was a good problem to have for black people, right? Even though they turned us away and they basically
it meant that they couldn't kill us all off just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. Like why? Like what are we talking about? Of course.
Let's talk about that next week. Then we'll talk about it.
Okay. For sure.
So next week's show, there it is, you guys. We're going to talk about migrant farmers, migrants, immigrants, undocumented workers, etc., and COVID, and how this is affecting them. And then what California and other states are doing about those populations. All right. So
absolutely
check it out. It sounds exciting. I can't wait to look into it. You guys have a good one.
All right.